Hey everyone, it's Mike with It's Pittsfield Tonight. I'm here at Park Square, this time with Karen Kalinowsky. And many of you know Karen Kalinowsky. She's a former Pittsfield City Councilor, and Karen is running for Pittsfield City Council At-Large again this year. Karen, thanks for taking the time to do this today.
Thanks for inviting me, Mike.
Absolutely. So I'm going to start with the question I ask everybody, but what has inspired you to run for the City Council again this year?
I can't stay away. I love this city, and I can't stay away from things that I see that need to be fixed in the city. That's why I decided to run. I still see things that need to be addressed.
Okay, and what would you say going into this election, some of the biggest issues that are at the front of your campaign?
Well, it's funny you asked that, Mike, because I went through my conversations with you over the years that I've run, and they're kind of same. A lot of them are the same. Different reasons. Last time I ran at large, the bike lanes were the big thing. Not that they're not a big thing anymore, but now it's, the homeless, the panhandling, the big fights, people defecating on in-store doorways on North Street. That is, the big issue not going on now.
That seems to be one that I talk about a lot on my shows, and it's a big conversation in the community, and that, you're right, that hasn't gone away, and it seems like it's escalating. Would you agree with that, or?
I would agree with it. I do believe that, the mayor tried to do something with having the camping ban ordinance. My frustration with the city council is, either vote yes or no. This dragging it on for months to me, is ridiculous. You either want it or you don't want it. Make a decision.
It's about, 6 months now that this is being discussed, and it doesn't look like that it's going to be settled before the election, as far as I understand, with it going to the health department.
Probably not, and people are seeing it as, criminalizing the homelessness. As in, former law enforcement, I see it as a tool for police officers. But everybody sees it from different angles. We have a lot of services here in Pittsfield, which is why, if you look at a lot of the people that are out, some of them are our Berkshire County residents, but a lot of them are not here from Berkshire County. They were brought here either through services, like our detox or the brain center. And then when they get out or they leave, they're out here on the street. They don't know anybody. So they're out in their streets. We need to do something about it. We need to get our services to work together. I think that's a big factor in some of this. And also, where we agree is we need to put police officers down on North Street, dedicate them, not overtime, not here and there, not different ones, but a couple officers that this is their beat that they want, and go out there, and their presence will start calming some of this down.
Absolutely. And for those who don't know, you were a Pittsfield police officer for 31 years or 32 years? It
was just about 32. I left 6 weeks before my 32nd year was up.
Okay, and if I'm correct on this, North Street was your beat. Am I right on saying that?
Well, when I first got hired in '86, you had 4 to 6 officers walking North Street every shift. So I worked it on the second shift, and I worked it on the midnight shift. And then somewhere, maybe till the late 80s, early 90s, they took all the walking units off. And then we started having problems on North Street with open drug dealing, shootings, a lot of shoplifting, the same thing that's going on here, open drunkenness, drinking, that type of behavior. So, the mayor went to the chief, and the chief came to the officers and asked who would be interested in going downtown. And since I did it for the most part of my career, and I enjoyed it, I enjoyed the community policing part of it, I put in for it, and I got placed down on North Street. And, just our presence and handling things, within 6 months, there was hardly any issue on North Street. Not saying nothing happened ever, but it was a rare. Our presence, and then we helped store owners with the shoplifting aspect with trespass notices, with how to set up their stores to make things that were people shoplifted often, keeping them away from the door, how close it was. These were strategies that we helped with business owners with. And then just our presence. I've been walking North Street last week and this week, and I've talked to some of the, probably about 25 of the store owners, managers, clerks, whoever was working at that time. And some of the officers that are out there temporary are stopping in, and they love it. They are so appreciative of them officers stopping in their businesses and talking to them and asking them what they need, what is it they want. And it makes them feel better being up there. Because some of the stuff that they're witnessing and having happen in front of their businesses, a lot of them are afraid that they're not going to be able to stay in business if this keeps continuing.
Absolutely, and it does seem two of the things that were driving this year's election cycle is downtown, talking about exactly what we are, and then of course the schools has been a big one. Those seem to be the two at the forefront. And I would agree with you on North Street as far as if you've ever seen any of my videos, and I'm certain you have because I see you comment on there and you and I talk frequently. I'm big on a police patrol for North Street and community policing, because rather than just having officers respond, it's nice in the community policing aspect of it. It's officers that's their beat. They get to know the situation, know the people. It helps them address it better. It's a proactive rather than just responding all the time to something horrible. Yes, and that is, like you said, some of these people need services. An officer that gets to know some of these people will then understand what services these specific people need and can reach out to those services to try to get them. And with anything, we can't force people into getting help, but we can encourage, we can, get people to come out and talk to them. We can try to get some of them help. And some of them will take it and some of them won't. I agree. But that's definitely driving this. And then, of course, we're looking at next year another redesign of North Street. Is that something you're hearing anything about?
I am. I mean, I did read in the paper, and then some business owners talked to me. I think the mayor has to reconsider some of this prior to doing it, because some businesses said once the construction starts, they will probably go under, because some of their customers are already afraid to come up because of what's going on, and then the ones that are coming up may not bother due to not being able to get close to their stores. Some of them don't have parking other than right there on North Street.
Right.
Depending on where they are and their location.
And I could see that pending on the type of construction that might be happening there. I've heard a few different ideas, but I haven't really heard anything definitive yet.
Yeah, and I just think it's something that the mayor, and they need to consider that prior to starting.
Now, are there anything you're hearing? Because I know some business owners, they outside of North Street feel a little left out sometimes of the conversation. What are you hearing around the city from people other than just in the downtown corridor?
Well, on the outer part, I'm actually hearing positive things, because with some of the outer ones, under the old DA, shoplifting was just killing a lot of our businesses. They were losing thousands and thousands of dollars due to shoplifting. And now, once this new DA had come in, he is now prosecuting what, the previous DA wouldn't. So that is slowing down their losses over these last 2 years. So, that's a positive for a lot of these other businesses. We need to keep our businesses in Pittsfield. Our taxes are high for our residents. Businesses help supplement it, and their taxes are high. We're one of the highest in Massachusetts for business and residential. And, we have to do whatever we can to keep the businesses here and encourage more to come in.
Yeah, because the scary thing is you're seeing a lot of second home ownership here, a lot of locals leaving, and of course we're seeing home values skyrocketing, and selling a house here takes no time at all. But again, it's that whole second homeowner issue. So, that seems to be an issue. Housing, that's a big one. Do you have anything on that?
It's really hard because right now to build is costly. From what I'm hearing, and I'm not a builder, so I can only go on the information I'm given. To build a new build of a house is very costly. So when they go to sell a new build, it's going to be out of a lot of people's range, especially somebody that just got a halfway decent job. But if your mortgage is going to be $2,000 or more, that is going to take a big cut out of your paycheck. A lot of people can't afford that these days, and now rents are that high. Some of the rents that I'm hearing, even for, I just talked to a woman yesterday, she rents just under $1,000, but somebody just down the street, she went and looked at an apartment for somebody, and it was over $1,100, and it was with nothing else. It was with no heat, no hot water, no electricity. The people had to pay that on top. So, you look at that, depending on how, I think she said the apartment was only a 1-bedroom. So it might not be as much to heat that, but you're still looking probably at like $1,600 or so a month.
Which is a lot.
Yes, for a single person just starting out, and then if you're not in a good job, you have to work 2 jobs to try to make that rent and make that, you're just skimming by. It's tough.
Yeah, and if you can't save anything, you kind of feel hopeless at times, like you're just trapped.
Well, I will have to say, Mike, that, when we were bringing our kids up, my husband stayed home for the first 3 years of our kids, and that's how we lived. And it took us a few years to catch up. It wasn't until our kids hit high school that we could we have some money in the bank. We don't have to finagle our finances to pay this bill now and then have to pay that one 5 days later when you get another paycheck into the account. And it's harder to do that today because everything's electronic. So before, when you deposit your check, it took a few days. And now, banks they take their money right out. And so it can be harder for people to finagle the funds.
It is, and I mean, that's something I hear a lot and I experience a lot myself. So it's the cost of everything right now, and again, rentals, what a vehicle costs, and again, for most people, just the idea of home ownership seems completely unobtainable for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And that's going to discourage young people from wanting to stay here.
Yes, unless they got a job here that's, a decent paying job, General Dynamics, the hospital, some of those jobs, yes. Our level of income, average income, I think we'll be looking it up, it was around $50,000, $60,000.
Yeah, I think it's right, just shy of 60,000.
Yeah. And it sounds like a lot, it was a lot to me. I didn't make much more than that when I retired. But it's not with today's prices.
Right.
You can be just getting by, and the bare minimum is not with no extras. And just getting by on that, and that's scary.
So I definitely will want to follow up with you as this goes on some other issues. But for people who want to learn more about your campaign or what you've got going on, do you have any meet and greets or anything coming up?
Oh, I do. I don't know the exact dates. I know I'll be at the Senior Center on the 9th and the 16th, I think it is, 17th. Same day as the debate is going to be this, I believe, the 16th at BCC. I have another meet and greet at Berkshire Town. I'm not sure the date. I don't have my notebook on me.
All right, so how about your socials where you can have...
But they can look at my political page, Karen Kalinowsky, City Councilor At-Large. You can call me.
And is that on Facebook?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Or you can call me at my phone number, 413-329-0397. Reach out instant messenger. I'm available. I will respond right away.
Are you looking for any help, volunteers, people who want signs, anything like that?
I've been lucky. I have some, a lot of good helpers. I am starting to put together to hold signs on November 4th. I have already had some people offer. I just need to sit down with the different polling places and start inputting some of those names. And so, yes, if anybody wants to reach out through Instant Messenger and, help me hold signs on November 4th, I would really appreciate it.
All right, well, Karen, as always, Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for helping me carry the tripods across the street. And, I'll follow up with you, and we'll do a few more of these as the season continues.
All right. Thank you, Mike.
All right, and I'll catch you all tomorrow.